before we really get into it, I kind of want to start with something, a serious observation from one of my favorite journalists on the block that I think sort of put things into perspective for me. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson raps, that's literally rap rock. And on that note, we will be joined by Grant Sharples this episode.
You know, I'm really interested in stimulating intellectual thought, and I just see this observation as further stimulus for more intellectual thought. Because when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson raps, I heard that song that's all over TikTok where he's rapping, and I'm like, this is rap rock. Like, this is literally rap rock. He turns into the genre rap rock.
Wait, Grant.
Yeah.
Grant, did you not hear that song before TikTok?
No.
We
I
heard it back when it was
remember
on Twitter.
seeing headlines.
I was saying I was gonna ask because it's a Tech Nine song, and you know, Tech Nine's a Kansas City legend. Like, every class I've been in, every Kansas City kid said Tech Nine was their favorite artist. Literally, they're like, oh my gosh, Tech Nine.
Yeah, Tech Nine used to live in my dad's neighborhood, I think. But I don't really know that much about Tech Nine.
Okay.
One fun fact I do like about him is that when we were all at Mizzou, he did like a beer tasting at Lucky's Market.
Oh.
Because he had a concert that night, and he was like doing this craft beer thing, and so he was just hanging out at a grocery store, promoting his craft beer.
Wow.
Grant,
Kansas City kids love Tech Nine.
Are we
Grant, I have to ask you. You also tweeted about how you were gonna like explain your job at Thanksgiving.
This did happen once, so this did occur.
How did you explain it?
So, it was like my stepmom's uncle, and we were sitting down. He's like, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "Okay, here we go." And I was like, "I'm a writer." But thankfully, he didn't ask anything else.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't really have to go into that, but this particular question has been asked of me many times. And this is usually the answer I give them. Because there are many follow-up questions. Because where do you write for? What do you write about? What's copywriting?
See, but you can like flex though. That's easy. You can say like MTV, Pitchfork, Ringer, Stereo Gum as listed in your Twitter bio. Like, that's a flex.
Yeah, that is true. But the people who usually ask this question don't
know it.
What some of those publications are.
That is true.
Like, why do you work for so many places? Just have one job. That's why they're
exactly. It's like, so why do you freelance? I'm like, that's a great question. Why do I freelance?
I feel like I alternate whether I tell people I'm a writer, journalist, or producer, depending on who asks, and this is what vibe I get from you. Because, you know, these days you tell someone you're a journalist, and the next thing you know,
they're asking
liberal media.
They're asking.
I had a conversation with someone this break where someone was like the liberal elite media. And I was like that. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, am I that?
That's me.
You're like, leave me alone.
Like, I don't forget this. On that note, y'all, we have a fun episode. Again, Grant, our favorite honorary host, 97 Demo music correspondent, fantastic journalist, is joining us. This week, we're reviewing Adele's 30, and we're going to talk about the Grammy nominations at some point or throughout this whole thing. And yeah, welcome to the 97 Demo, where we give you the latest in music news and a whole bunch along the way. I'm Nnamdi, joined by my two friends,
McGee
and Avery DeWall.
See, whatever. So let's go ahead and get to headlines, you guys. So starting with Grammys, right? Because we have to. This is actually kind of the funniest thing in the world to me, and it shows the legacy of the weekend. So the New York Times breaking report. Don't worry, Avery. I know this story like the back of my hand.
That's what happens.
I can ad lib.
Use the Mizzou login.
They changed the password.
I know.
And low-key, whoever in the library allowed them to change that password knows that she screwed over thousands of alum who are still cycling the same. Okay, but yeah. So with this story, basically, the New York Times broke that the Grammy nominations came out on Tuesday. Apparently, that Monday, the day before, there was a meeting with the higher ups at the Recording Academy, and they made the decision to expand the top 4 categories, which are Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best New Artist, from 8 nominees to 10 nominees. And in doing so, they added a whole bunch of people to, I guess, the voter ballot that would have been left off. So I guess the one that everyone's talking about is for Album of the Year, Taylor Swift's Evermore and Kanye West's Donda made the cut because they expanded it. And I saw this and I was like, that makes sense. Because, you know, if I'm looking at that list of albums that were nominated and I'm like, okay, which two like were probably the alternates? It's like, I'd probably, you know, I love Donda, but, you know.
It's like weird that they didn't have a rap album in there prior to Donda.
Well, they had Lil Nas X, if you consider.
I think that's more poppy, but I guess. But I just thought that was interesting because he's not nominated. Lil Nas X is not nominated in the rap categories, and so
which is interesting. And the funny thing about that, this is why I say this is still like the legacy of the weekend, because like I guarantee you, if they last year had 10 instead of 8, the weekend would have been nominated for one of the top 4, which whether it was Blinding Lights or After Hours. So it's like, because what you just said with Lil Nas X, that's probably what happened to the weekend, where the rap category was like, this is too pop. The pop category is like, this is too rap, and you only get recognized in the general field.
Well, this is confusing now because like, does this basically confirm like the Donda's gonna win rap album of the year? Because like,
no.
Wait a second. So like, wait a second.
No. Those are two different voters.
I know that, but like, it's just I hate when that happens. It's so weird.
Yeah,
like,
they'll
be like one rap album in the album of the year, but all of them aren't. But it's confusing. I think that's confusing.
It feels like Donda's like the representative rap album.
Exactly. That's category. What I'm saying. Exactly. So it's like,
it's like the same way that Olivia Rodrigo. She's probably going to win Best New Artist because she's nominated in so many other categories.
Exactly.
She may do a Billie Eilish type sweep. I don't really kind of want that to happen.
It could happen.
Made it more variety at the top, but that could happen. But no, I get it. You're saying because Donda is now the album of the year, you kind of know that out of all those rap albums, that was the one that they were like.
I'm saying it might not win, but it's just confusing. Like, why does it happen like that? Like, Donda's the one that makes album of the year, but if it doesn't win, you're gonna be like, wait, but it was nominated for album of the year. It's just gonna be confusing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I think it's really confusing. I think they should do something where like, I don't know, all the albums in like the best genre album kind of get nominated. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. They just need to do a better way of like organizing it. So like, maybe like all the albums that are nominated for like rap, pop, album of the year are like a vote, and then like the finalists are the ones that actually are like up for nomination on like the day of the Grammys. I don't know. I just think it's a confusing thing. So
you know, they're doing reforms, but you know, so maybe that'll be one of them. You can write Harvey Mason a letter; he may listen to you. But other categories that had like that were impacted by this rule. Oh, damn, Avery.
I didn't know where we were going.
Quick talk. Well, I'm gonna just tell you some of the other ones. I know for Best New Artist, that's one that I remember because Baby Keem was added, as well as some. It was like a Pakistani American.
Yeah,
Arouge, I believe.
Arouge.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Arouge.
I know who
so they were added.
Arouge Aftab.
Arouge Aftab. Yeah.
She's really cool. I like her.
Record of the Year, Lil Nas X and ABBA got in because of that, and then Song of the Year, Kiss Me More and Right on Time by Brandy Carlisle made the cut. So I think this is the level of transparency I kind of appreciate. It's kind of cool knowing like which albums would have made the cut if like, and I kind of know what the 11th album would have been.
The New York Times broke this story, so I don't know if it was like the Grammys saying that it was like them reporting on it.
Some like you know that tells me, you know, maybe they wanted it out. I don't know.
Why couldn't Harvey have been like, hey, by the way, you know, last night we met,
exactly,
added a couple things to every category.
I agree.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing with this like 8 to 10 thing. I've developed this hypothesis that there is a genre of music called Grammy core, and Grammy core basically comprises artists that sound like Black Pumas, Her, or Brandy Carlisle.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to dig those artists, but like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because when you're expanding your categories from 8 to 10, that's just room for 2 more Grammy core artists to be in the thing rather than actually like try and give an award to somebody new. Like, because like Taylor and Kanye, like, they're already very well established artists.
Everyone that was really added, with the exception of maybe I don't want to mispronounce his name, but like the Pakistani American composer, who I know your name, I just don't want to mispronounce it.
The Pakistan, Arouge Aftab.
Arouge Aftab. Everyone is like mainly with him and Baby Keem. Everyone else was kind of nominated elsewhere, and they're all super well known.
Just so you know, Rouge Off Top is a woman, just so.
Yeah. Oh, did I say him?
Oh, yeah, I think you did.
Oh, oops. Sorry.
It's all good. Just
A mistake.
Oh, thank
It's
you
all
for
good.
the correction.
Good.
Thank you for the correction.
We learn something new every day. It's all good.
No,
Yeah.
but I feel like everyone else who made the cut, they're like all well known. So
I agree.
they don't really recognize newer.
I don't know.
artists.
Wait, so who is is that
Who
like,
is Kanye?
is that like a Ye West tribute act? I am a little confused.
Is this
This
like-
is actually the
Yeah.
artist formerly known as.
Is this an error? Like,
Yeah,
is this-
FKA Kanye.
Oh,
right
yeah,
about
yeah.
I do think
Yeah.
it's funny, like reading like a Pitchfork news article, and there was like Ye West, formerly known as Kanye West, because they always have to clarify.
Wait,
like,
are we really doing this? Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's his name. He
It's like
changed
this.
it.
No, is it? I think it's just Ye. I don't even think it's Ye West. I'm serious. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
just Ye. Isn't it just Ye?
I think
mean,
it's
Pitchfork
Ye.
got it wrong too.
If we listened when Prince did it, then I guess
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got to take it seriously. If you legally change your
Prince
name,
love symbol for a decade. So
Like, is
Yeah.
this like error by the New York Times that they have it as Kanye
yes,
West?
yes, it is. You
Yeah.
could say Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. Like,
hey, y'all,
They
but
messed
yeah,
up.
submit the corrections. Like,
mm,
hey, we have a correction. A
update.
glaring
Yeah,
mistake.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
y'all, but let me ask: does anyone have any early predictions they want to make?
Oh,
Anyone
well,
have any?
hop on.
Olivia Rodrigo will win Best New Artist. That is my
Probably.
prediction.
Yeah.
And I think Donda will win Rap Album of the Year.
Oh, see, I think Tyler should
I
win
think
it.
Tyler's gonna.
Tyler
win.
I think
should win
Tyler.
it.
I think he should, and I think he will win. I actually think he
Donda's
will
more of a
win.
I
Grammy
hope he
album.
wins
and
it.
Donda feels more like a Grammy album. IMO. To Grant's point, that's why I think I could see Donda doing it.
Yeah, like,
I
I want
was-
Tyler to win, but I
Yeah.
think it will go to Donda.
Something in my gut tells me. Something. In
I
my
predict
gut.
Weezer wins a Grammy. That's my prediction for this Grammy.
That's a really open. Look how many
They-
people
they're-
were writing on
I know,
Justice.
right?
Y'all, I don't want to talk about
It's
her.
crazy.
And I'm not going to talk about her, but I wrote about her. So look, I'm just,
Who?
shout out to forgetting the
Her.
album.
Yeah,
Or-
but
look at it. Look at Donda. Look at this.
Don't listen to our
This is
review. But
insane.
shout out to her.
What is this?
I
someone
really like
tweeted-
that Kanye West keeps like an intimate circle of collaborators. on his album.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
Y'all know, but-
just
Yeah,
everybody in
it's
the
His
music
close
industry.
friend.
Tight group
Someone
of
tweeted
people.
that like now if Donda wins album of the year, like everyone in the hip rap industry will get a Grammy since they
You're
changed
so
the
right.
rule.
Literally.
like, everyone who's featured or credited gets something. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's something. I want Billie Eilish to low-key win because I still think Happier Than Ever is easily the best pop album this year, but hot take, I guess.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We've been on Grammys for a minute. What else do we have in store for our headlines? Oh, Rolling Loud. Okay, so this is actually one kind of not good thing, but a silver lining maybe of the Astroworld Festival tragedy. Other festivals are learning from it. So Rolling Loud California announced a very common sense basic measure. They're going to start requiring everyone who attends to be 18 and older. So if you purchase a ticket as a minor, they'll either let you, get a refund or defer your ticket until next year. Maybe you're 17 turning 18. That's what you want to do. That's an option too. But, I get, I know high school me would hate this because I'd be
That's what I was gonna say.
it'd be like, I like the artist too. And like, I want to go to, like when I was in Atlanta, if Music Midtown was 18 up, I know I'd be pissed. But I think it just really depends on the crowd you're curating. And I think Rolling Loud, they say in a tweet, one of these, we want everyone to rage. Maybe they know that's going to be, it's an outdoor festival where everyone kind of goes crazy. It's not the most suitable for kids.
Yeah, like I said on the Travis Scott Astroworld episode, I feel like this should just be like a separate section. I feel like because honestly, I feel like high school, that's too big of a demographic to leave out of these festivals. Honestly, in my opinion, I personally would be really pissed too. I get it, but I feel like this should be like a different section. And if there's parents with younger kids, 13.
But what would
or
a different
14 under.
section? What would a different section accomplish?
I don't.
Packed section of.
I don't think the
minors.
crowd control at a festival is good enough to try and differentiate that.
Yeah,
as we saw.
I just
That's
don't
true.
think
That's
that's
true.
practical.
I don't know.
This
know.
is a good measure. It seems like though. So.
True, but then the thing is this though. What if people still get hurt? If they're 18 and they get hurt, and then they're 16 and
that's
they're
fine. But I think it's fine if an adult gets hurt, you're an adult. But I think what they want is that they're not helping a minor who's not legally responsible for themselves get injured at a festival that they oversee, which seems after what happened, with the 9-year-old at Astroworld, that just makes sense.
And a 10-year-old. There's
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
A 9-year-old and a
Yeah.
10-year-old.
There was a 9 and a 10-year-old.
I'm fairly sure.
I think so. But here's the thing, like, no, you made a great point. Like, just because they're over 18 doesn't mean they're not going to get hurt. Like, I think this is entirely like a legal, like, money situation and not as much like a genuine care situation.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what I feel.
I'm typically the cynic of the group, but the way I feel about this is just that, like, when you look at the people who were injured at Astroworld, a lot of those people who got into cardiac arrest, or a lot of those people who had to go to the hospital, they were a lot of young kids. And while I 100% agree that it's definitely a legal liability issue, right? I also think maybe they're like, not every festival environment is the best for a 16-year-old who may be drunk, not know how to handle the liquor.
I get you, but what's the difference between 16 and 18? What's the difference between 16 and 18? It's not
one is an adult with a brain that's a tad bit more developed.
I'm saying a tad bit. I'm saying the decisions that a 16, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying the decisions that a 16 and 18-year-old are gonna make don't differ that much to me. That like, oh my gosh, the 18 is gonna do something way much more responsible.
Well, that's the legal liability part of it.
That's what I think. That's why I think it's more of a legal thing. But
yeah, I hear that for 16, 17, but I'm thinking of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That age, absolutely. You know. I agree with that. I'm thinking like, you know, like almost 18, like, you know, I'm thinking juniors, seniors in high school, you know, they're about to be. I'm thinking that. I'm not thinking like obviously like kids. You know what I'm saying? But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's a tough issue. So yeah.
Now we're gonna get to transition to the Adele part of this episode, because everything else from here on out is about 30. This is a big one that everyone got mad at, and I don't really understand why. Well, I get it, but I just, you know, whatever.
Avery
Adele
got mad.
30.
I got mad. I was like,
hold on. Can we say what the story is first? Adele put out 30.
Yeah,
everything put it out. She got the higher up the powers to be at Spotify to remove the little shuffle button that exists, so that when you click play, it automatically just goes through and listen through. Which, before we get to Avery's dissenting view, I'm a big proponent of the first time you listen to an album, you should listen to it like in order, like sequence. So I get it, but you know, there are some people who don't believe in that, don't believe in that you know, form of listening.
Yeah.
And I give the mic to Avery DeLaw.
I agree that the first time you should listen to an album, especially one of, you know, actually from anybody, you should probably listen to it in order, because work goes, as Adele says, work goes into sequencing an album. And we talked about that last week with Kanye and how he like kind of ruined the sequencing of his album. But why did you take away my easy ability to shuffle this album now? You know, granted, I'm like pushing 2 more buttons to do it, but I'd rather not.
Well, you can still do
know,
it.
And the fact that I can't even like go into settings to change my default back to the shuffle.
Wait, is it just for this album, or is it for everywhere? Is it like just this album?
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Oh.
Like,
so wait,
hold
up.
I usually listen to like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Like, I was just go ahead.
Like when I listen to an album, I usually just listen to it in order, just because that's like, I don't know.
That's the way it was designed.
But still, like, that's the way I listen to it. But that doesn't mean that's the way everybody wants to listen to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
yeah,
I feel like maybe there should be like both.
Apple has
like
both.
right there.
I can't even change it. Like, what if I want to go listen to Certified what if I want to go listen to Certified Lover Boy and I have to listen to it, you know, all the way through because I hit play? I don't want to do
that. You can still do shuffle by just clicking on a song and then hitting the shuffle thing.
Explain it how Spotify has changed. Like, you can't, like, what's different now?
Like, if you go to any album on Spotify, they used that play button, that green play button,
for sure,
used to have a shuffle on it, and so the default feature would be to shuffle an album when you hit that play button. Now when you hit play, it just goes through in order. And
wait a second, but there's no shuffle button at all. Like, there's not a play and shuffle button.
No, you can shuffle it after the fact.
Oh.
But initially,
like shuffle, you have to click on a song and just hit the shuffle icon.
That's so weird. I don't know, because like, obviously I'm Apple Music and it has play and it has shuffle. So if you want to shuffle, you click shuffle, you click play. I don't know, that just makes it more confusing.
No, you can still shuffle. I'm saying the default play button here
No,
is
I got
now
you.
Just a regular play button.
No, I got you. I'm saying on Apple Music, there's a play button and then there's a shuffle button. So you just want to start the whole thing with shuffle.
I sort of felt like this controversy was overblown, just because my thing was like, if you want to shuffle the album, just click on a random song and shuffle the album.
But it's about user experience. If you're creating an app and you want to make it suitable for everyone, you got to make it suitable for everyone and how they listen to music, especially if you're a music streaming app. And the fact that someone who likes to listen to shuffle albums, can't even switch it back is kind of annoying.
I do think this in way is like Spotify like performing artistic purity, like
exactly.
Yes, I know they don't like
they don't care about artists.
So it's like is this on every album?
Hold on, but
no, is this on every album?
Grant to that, yes,
every album.
It's on every album.
Oh,
Grant, to your point, wait. I'm normally the cynic, but this episode, what's the incentive for Spotify if it's not caring about, in this case, Adele reaching out and saying?
Here's the thing: if Spotify cared, they'd pay their artists.
Okay,
so it's totally
we're
like
issues. We're conflating. Yeah. Spotify needs to pay their people. I 100%.
So like if they really cared about artistic purity, they're like, we will fairly pay the artists who use our platform. So I think this is entirely like a performance.
And it's Adele that happened to be like the biggest artist in the world. Like, I think Adele has the right to say that, but like not every artist has the power to be like, hey, I'd like you to take this feature off. To, obviously if they said no to Adele, they'd be like, whoa, word, you don't want to make an enemy out of Adele. Just in
I wonder
general,
if this will like hurt rap albums, because some rap albums they're just not built to listen to in order. Them things, they got a couple hits here and there, but I don't know.
Like they're more.
I just think part of this like ruins for me, because like I guess as the one who likes to shuffle, it ruins part of the user experience of Spotify for me.
Yeah, like I used to be
like this push you to Apple Music.
No, but it's annoying, and I would like them to like add it in the settings where I can change.
I just wonder why Adele's thing changed everything across everything. Because I really thought when I first read the story, I was like, oh, they're just doing this just for the Adele album.
I did too, but bro, I wouldn't be surprised if other artists have requested this and they're just like, no, they're not going to put in that much work. Let's read what Adele said. Adele said, this is the only request I had in our ever-changing industry. We don't create albums with so much care and thought into our track listing for no reason. Our art tells a story, and our story should be listened to as we intended. Thank you, Spotify, for listening. And I agree. I wonder what the leverage was, though. I wonder if it was, I'll do an Apple Music.
Well, is Adele on the board of Spotify? Is Adele on the board of directors?
There's something going on. I don't know. Like, I'm a little skeptical. Because
I'm skeptical too.
Like, why this shouldn't be your only request in an ever-changing like,
take this off on all albums.
If you could change one thing about the music industry, what would it be? Oh, Spotify default. Like, that probably shouldn't be it. But like, I used to be more of a purist when it came to like listening to albums in order, and I usually just do that anyway for the most part. But like, if you want to shuffle it. Just like do what you want.
Can I just say, and this is the last thing I'll say, I'm realizing the reason she wanted to do this is because prior, like Avery just mentioned, the default option was shuffle, and I do think that was wrong. I never made us think of it because you never really noticed, you just dealt with it. But that, in my opinion, I don't think the default option should ever be the shuffle album. And I do think if someone has to do more work, it should be the shufflers versus the traditional listeners. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying, why can't I change that?
But why not both, right?
I say both. That's what I'm confused.
Why can't I customize it to how I like to listen to music?
Yeah, why does it have to be one or the other?
Because Spotify thinks
why don't we have Apple Music? Why don't we have Apple Music? I mean, Apple Music really has both.
Look,
literally,
Spotify has to do a little bit more to get me to Apple Music. It's
literally play shuffle. It's pretty simple.
Baby, yeah, but you got play shuffle, but everything else is just not good. Everything.
What else is not good? I listen to my music fine.
I know. I'm happy.
I heard the exact same album.
No, Noah McGee is our resident Apple Music expert. We love him for it. And this is actually, so this story is a big reason why I asked Grant to join us today, because he relaunched your newsletter, correct?
Yep.
And he wrote his first thing. He said you're going to start doing a series where you take a deep dive into people's discography. He started with Adele because it was timely. And I read this whole shebang because I like doing deep dives into catalogs, and I just wanted to see what your take was. And why don't you sum it up for us? What you think Adele's progression?
Well, Grant, was the premise doing deep dives on albums that you're like not super like familiar with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of like the Kickstarter, because I thought about doing this for a while, and I realized like Adele comes out with 30 tomorrow, and I was like, I haven't heard a single Adele album all the way through. So I was like, let's just do all of them, and then I'll give like my thoughts on each one. So that's essentially how that started. And then I'll probably do like a bunch more down the road with different artists who I want to cover.
Adele's a really good artist to start with, though, since she only had 3 albums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I thought about doing like Fleetwood Mac or something, and I was like, they have like 18 studio albums.
Yeah.
So that's not that, maybe for like my magnum opus before I retire, that's what I'll do. And then like, but I thought this would be perfect. It's like, it's only 3 albums. I can just listen to all of these in like a few hours and then write. So that's what I did. But in terms of just like my general thoughts, like I think 19 was probably my favorite. Just because like it sounded a little like it still sounds like an immaculately produced pop album because it is, and like, but it's still when it comes to Adele, everything is super polished, and this sounds like the least polished. Like she's just trying on a bunch of different sounds and seeing what sticks, and like it's a little bit rough around the edges, like comparatively speaking, and that's just not something you hear with Adele anymore. And so I thought it was cool just primarily from like that standpoint of like, wow, Adele is doing things that don't sound quite like Adele, because now she just does like piano power like ballads all the time. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't, because she's really good at it, but like I just thought this was interesting to look back and see like what could have Adele sounded like if she didn't take the route that she's on now.
That's a good point. I agree. 19 is my favorite also. I mentioned that a couple weeks ago. So kind of like for that reason, like she's kind of like the most raw, which is interesting because like you said, like everything sounds so clear and perfect. Like every instrument used is so perfect throughout every album. So I agree with that.
Yeah. And then there's the one where she got really big.
This is 21. Like her Thriller. 21 is her Thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this one. I knew a lot of songs already because they were pretty.
All of them hit number
pretty
1
much everywhere.
Yeah. But I like this a little bit less than 19. I still think there's really great songwriting, like Rumor Has It and like Rolling in the Deep, obviously. I forgot that she covered The Cure. I remember hearing that. I'm like, oh, I didn't know she did that. And then I heard it again. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't know she did that, except I did. But this is the like her I know she was already doing like major label stuff before this, but this is like her major label debut, at least in terms of a sonic standpoint. Like this is where she was like, I'm going to make a bunch of 3.5-minute piano ballads, and it's like where she really like established her trademark sound. So if you're a fan, like I say in like that last paragraph, like if you're a fan of this particular sound, you're probably gonna love this thing. This isn't really my go-to sound, but like I can still like admire it and appreciate it. Like, yeah, this is her sound, she does it really well. And then I guess I'll lead us into 25. Now, Nnamdi, you said this is your favorite one. Is it still your favorite one?
I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Oh, okay.
It was my favorite.
Transition, but so this is my least favorite. It felt like she was just like trying to blow herself out of proportion with just like how big she could make her songs, but it felt like it was a little like cramped, so to speak. Like there was only so much room for her to go big when like without like overblowing them or making the lyrics sound overwrought, what have you. And I feel like that's what happened here. Not quite, but it was very, very close to it, where everything just sounds a little tense and not quite as loose as the first 2 records did. And it's like from the songwriting.
To that point, she came out and said, I remember when this was coming out, that it took her way more effort to make this album than the others. Like she had a writer block and all that. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So I guess those are my thoughts, and I guess that can lead us
into this week's topic, 30 by Adele, a review. And I'm excited. I am. Okay, I swear this is supposed to be 30, Avery.
You might click the wrong link.
Somebody's getting fired.
Somebody went to the wrong Genius site. The wrong Genius site.
But Grant, I will say I wanted to specifically have your piece in the lead up to our review because I think 30, I'll just say like my general impression, I think 30 is like a perfect showcase of like the evolution of Adele as an artist and like her growth, both artistically, like stylistically, and just like even with her voice. And I think, honestly, I think if I sat down and I were to do like an Adele deep dive, I'm not sure I'd still say 25 is my favorite. 25 is my favorite because it was the first Adele album I listened to full through on my own. The other ones was just on the radio, but was a hit. 25 was the one that I remember like I bought on iTunes. So I was like, let's see what this is about. So nostalgia's by that. But I will say, I do see what you're saying in the sense of it was very formulaic in its approach. Like it was we know the pop ballads work and we're just going to give you an album of that. Like we'll give you some, this one feels dark, this one feels light, but it's going to be pop ballads. And I think like so often when we review albums on our pod, I always say like, there's no growth. And sometimes y'all two will get on me and like, not every album needs to have growth. Like, what does that even mean? I feel like this is the perfect example of what I mean. And I say like, show me growth. Show me that, yes, you may have mastered a formula, your formula, but you can do more. And that's honestly why this album, I hold it in such high regard because I feel like she did that. And it was really hard. I think many people expected Adele to give you, especially since Easy On Me was the first single, many people expected Adele to give you an album full of Easy On Me's, like the same sort of pop ballad thing again. And she didn't do that. And that alone for me, like, is going to make this an album that I like. Like that alone, just the fact that she's shaking it up, doing something different and sort of showcasing like real growth is going to like put this in higher regard for me. So that's the initial impressions from Nnamdi.
That's interesting. Yeah, Nnamdi. I was the one that I was kind of saying like after like one listen or two listens, I was like, sounds like the same Adele, but I still enjoyed it very much. But after listening to it, it's not that like she's doing something different, like creatively that's never been done. It's just really different for Adele in terms of like some of the songs. Like I don't want to get into specific songs. It's just like some of these songs sound like some 70s soul or something like that. It's just something that was not necessarily something that I was familiar with Adele, which is something you also mentioned when we initially spoke about our thoughts of the album. So that's something I really enjoyed. And there was a couple times she was like using her voice in a way that I hadn't heard before. Which was interesting, like some higher tones, because obviously Adele has such like a powerful, strong, voice and deep voice. But like, she had a couple times where she was playing with the tone of her voice that I thought was really interesting for her, which is something that I really thought was refreshing on this album for me. So yeah, initial thoughts for me. Avery?
Yes. Yeah, Avery, you go ahead.
I mean, I really enjoyed this album. I think I kind of lean more towards Nnamdi's side where I think she like played around with some different sounds that I haven't heard on previous albums, and I really enjoyed that. I thought like there's like a country tinge to some song or one song, or like the opening song I really love a lot. Yeah. I really love a lot.
I can't wait to get into that.
And like maybe it's just 'cause I'm a huge like Sound of Music Julie Andrews fan, but hearing her kind of like play with these new sounds, or just like maybe it's because she has been doing something similar for a while, but kind of like experimenting with these new sounds was really fun for me to hear.
Is it just me, or does Strangers by Nature sound like it should be on a James Blake album? I don't know. It kind of feels like it give me that feel like it should have been on the last album, kind of.
Yeah, it has like a new James Blake sound to it.
Yeah,
especially
that's what I
like
was
the
thinking.
Opening like keyboards.
Exactly.
It kind of has that.
It's funny. Yeah. There was a song on here. I'm trying to remember which one it was. There was a song on here that I was like, "This is giving me James Blake." It was specifically the intro of it, and I don't remember which one it was. But it wasn't Strangers by Nature. I kind of get that, but I'm more so lean to Avery's interpretation, especially like when you listen to it within the full scope of the album. It felt to me more like a theater soundtrack.
Well,
like
she said.
I agree.
Guess she said
like
that like
Sound of Music.
She said she like was listening, or I don't know, she's listening to Julie Andrews or Sound of Music or something. She's like, why don't they make songs like this anymore? And then she did. So
I agree with you in the full
in
scope.
the vein of that.
Wait, Grant, give us your general thoughts.
Well, Nnamdi, you said that she could have made an album full of Easy On Me's, and she didn't. I kind of agree with that. Like, Easy On Me is probably like one of my least favorite songs on here, just because it sounds, I don't know, kind of like predictable, I guess.
Familiar. Yeah.
But yeah, like a little too familiar, I think. But like the other songs on here, like for instance, my favorite song on here is To Be Loved.
Oh yeah.
Because like like for example, like in the newsletter thing I wrote, I was like, maybe 30 will sound like Adele in her final form, and I think 30 is Adele in her final form. Like I think she did what she was trying to set out to do, and like it feels like this is her at like the height of her powers.
Yeah,
like she is exploring all avenues of her sound. I feel like she's kind of realizing her potential with this without overblowing herself like she did on 25. Like I think this album, like I said, To Be Loved is my favorite one. I think that's her best. That might be her best song, like period.
And to your, like we're not going to talk about that. Well, we may. I'm just going to say to your point about that song, I sort of feel like that sort of shows like mastery of this formula that Adele like has sort of set out and put forth. Like To Be like, and I think that's sort of what you're saying. Like to me, To Be Loved felt like she can do a pop ballad, but this is showing that she's like mastered the ability to do a pop ballad, and her voice can now reach new heights, and like she can now has this like incredible vocal range. And I also feel like you can feel that confidence throughout the album. That's one thing I really enjoyed about this project. It felt like both in the writing and just in her vocal performance, there was sort of like a feeling of confidence. Like I can do this. Like I know.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. You know what's something interesting about? Oh, go ahead, Grant.
Oh, I was just saying, my wife and I were listening to this album a lot as we're driving from one Thanksgiving celebration to another. And she was in like high school choir and stuff, and so she has a lot more like understandings of like the nuance of like voice and voice control and all that. And she's like, on To Be Loved, like she doesn't really stop. She's like, it's just like a full belt for like 5 minutes. Or
she doesn't breathe.
Like she doesn't stop. And like I think that talks about like the confidence that you were mentioning, Noah, like where she feels, I mean, she's always been amazing vocalist, but like the fact that it's just a full belt all the way through with no breaths, really, like amazing. It just speaks to like what I was saying earlier, like she's at the height of her powers.
You know, what I was gonna say is like, Grant, you mentioned how this is her final form. I was actually kind of gonna say like, I feel like this showed that Adele has like even more room for growth. Like she's like still trying new things, because like obviously she's so later in her career. But I was like, wow, this feels like, I don't know, this feels like just another step in like something else Adele might even do, which is interesting, because if she did something similar to 25 or 21, or it was like, oh, she's doing the same thing. But the fact that she stepped out and did something different, because this is something we saw in the last album. It'd have been something like, oh, you know, on this song, she was experimenting and she came out full throttle on this. This feels like there's something where like, this is a step to something even more, which we won't get for like another 6 years or probably. But that's what's exciting about this, because it feels like, yeah, exactly. That's exciting about it, because it feels like Adele even has more room for growth and experimentation for her, which is exciting for me. So yeah, that's what I thought.
It definitely piqued my interest. I will say her trying like new things made me, to your point, I'm now like, oh, you could do an album of that if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Let's get into some of the songs. Grant, you said Easy on Me was your least favorite, and I think that's completely fair.
Well, it's sort of my least favorite, but it's one of them.
Oh gosh. Okay, so we'll get to that.
Sorry, but go ahead. Yeah.
So one thing I really appreciated about Adele releasing Easy on Me as the first single is the fact that I feel like it sort of was the song that like was the most predictable on this album. Like we've heard it before from Adele. It's your general pop ballad, and I appreciate her sort of setting us up for the surprise of this album actually being probably her most like varied throughout.
Yeah. I think this was like the right first single. Like it's one of my least favorite tracks on here, but like this is like the clear single, because it sounds like it could have been on her like 25 or something like that. And it felt like a nice way to transition from her 25 era into her current era.
I agree. It's like it's like we waited for Adele for 5 to 6 years, and we got this song that like you would expect from Adele. Like we missed Adele, and she gave us what we would want. Like Adele does this song in her sleep, you know?
And her
Totally agree. Because I feel like if she came with something else, people would have been complaining. You know, I think it still would have went number one because it's Adele and people are interested. But yeah, I totally agree. This is like not basic, but classic Adele. Piano's on there. She's singing. She's emotional. She sounds good.
It's what you want.
Pianos are clear. It's what you hear. Yeah, exactly. If you're an Adele stan and you're like, yo, I love Adele. I love everything Adele. This is gonna be for you. This is gonna be
and like
be your
really
track.
Trademark Adele.
Exactly. Trademark. And I really like its placement on this album as well, right after Strangers by Nature, because I feel after this song, then the first half of the album is where you get that variety and like that a lot of that like stylistic, just like she shows off her range in that sense. Like,
oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, different than Silk Sonic. You know how there were singles? He's like, wow, I've heard these songs. It was like Easy on Me, and then all new songs. He's like, wow, I'm really like coming here blind, not knowing what I'm gonna get, and that was exciting. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like, going into My Little Love, let me just say a plus on this album. Y'all know I'm a sucker for cohesive storytelling, and there is a story of this album. Her narration throughout is like chef's kiss. I think it was such a great use of it. And Grant, the last time we talked, we joked about how this is supposed to be a song for her kid, and we were like, that doesn't make like that. This album, like, but how are you going to explain it? And I feel with the narration, it kind of clicks, right?
Yeah, I when I was talking about this record with some of my friends, I was like, she did the mixtape thing and put her voicemail, her family voicemail on it. This is that track. But I do wonder, how do you guys feel about, because Nnamdi said you like the narration. When you say you like the narration, do you mean you just like the way the lyrics are presented, or do you like the way like the conversations between Angelo and Adele?
I sort of like
first.
I don't know if it's a matter of like how they're interspersed. I just like it as like a storytelling tool. I like it being in the song as another way for you to sort of understand the message and how it's kind of intertwined without her verses.
I'm totally with you. I mentioned this like when we mentioned like new releases last week. I mentioned how this song just really hit home. I think it's just a source of just emotion. Like, you can sing about your child, and obviously it can still be emotional, but just like, talking to your kid, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like you can't really hide anything. You can't really hide anything. You can't be this fake person. And like Adele really just laid it all out on there. And this song really, really, really hit home. Really emotional song. I love this song. The production is just like, man, like that's something I did not expect from Adele, and it's something I loved. And this is my favorite song on the album. Personally, this is my favorite song, no doubt about it. I've listened to this song a million times, and I think she killed it.
I think what's really cool about the song is that, like, over her past 4 albums, we've like come, we're so used to her verbalizing her emotions and like through song, and like she's a really great songwriter, and being able to turn her feelings into like lyrics. But just like the outro of the song, like hearing her just talk and just like, I don't know, it was very raw.
Feel how raw it is.
It was like vulnerable in a way I feel like she
hasn't been before.
Even though she has been incredibly vulnerable over her career.
Yeah,
through
songwriting,
one of my favorites. Like, this is one of my favorite tracks. I don't know how I feel about like the conversations between her and her son in between, just because I can't really decide if I feel like that's contrived for emotional effect, or if it's like a genuine conversation between her and her son. Because you have to, like, when I hear it, I think about like Adele, that, hey Angela, we're working on my album, come sit down.
Yeah,
really?
That's a fair point, because somebody was just, because like I actually thought about that. I was like, yo, was she just having these conversations, and like, did somebody just happen to be? And I was like, it's never like that. So part of me thought like that, but either way, it felt like it came across on the album for me, which is why it worked for me. But I think that is a fair point, because that is something I literally talked about. I was like, why is somebody just recording this conversation?
Well, for me, it came across as I think he's 6. Like, I'm sure there was like Angela, do you want to help mommy work on an album? Do you want to come to the studio? Like, I'm sure there was that, but I think the conversation, like, tell me you love me. I love you 1,000,000%, mommy. Like, I think that was real,
I don't know.
And to Noah's point,
are you British?
Actually, let's just say 21 Savage isn't the only Atlanta boy who's from London.
You feel me?
Let me stop. Okay, but keeping it moving, just, for obvious reasons, I do want to talk about, I don't know if we have to do track by track, but for the first half, I want to, because Cry Your Heart Out is something that to me sounded like every album Adele will have like that one sort of poppy sounding song, like on 25, she had like Water Under the Bridge, and like Send My Love to Your New Lover. This sort of feels like, the next stretch of 3 songs sort of feels like that, but I like the way she does it. All of them still feel fresh to me.
I have a question.
Like reused.
From My Little Love to Cry Your Heart Out, was that a weird transition for anybody? That felt like, because I was just like so down, like the song, and then just said "Crier." It felt like a weird transition for me personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else other songs she could have put, but it was like the song was so emotional. It was like going down like the little violins at the end of that song.
I feel like My Little Love could have been, if we're gonna like split this album up into 2 sections, like I feel like My Little Love could have gone after like All Night Parking, where she has all these like really vulnerable.
But I sort of feel like she couldn't do that because to me, My Little Love gave me the same vibe as Woman Like Me. At least from like they both kind of had the little like Motown like feel to it sort of thing. Like
I feel like Avery, you bring up a great point. Like I didn't think about it till now, but this album is kind of like divided into 3 acts. Like because the first one is like the first 3 tracks, and then there's like Cry Your Heart Out, Oh My God, and Can I Get It?
Can I Get It?
The 3 poppiest songs on the album.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe I Drink Wine fits into that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
to me, like the finale, that's like Hold On. Maybe A Woman Like Me, I don't know, but Hold On to Be Loved and Love Is a Game. That's like the fine. Like,
I feel like
I don't know,
this All Night Parking feels like an interlude. This feels like an interlude, and then you get kind of these next 4.
Yes.
I agree. It's not like necessarily a bad thing because I don't know if she put My Little Love near the end, it would have been like too many like slow songs like back to back to back. Because there's like those last 3 tracks are like 6 minutes, like really long, emotional. It's
like a marathon.
Long. Yeah, it's a marathon. Like those are long tracks. So I get her putting it up there.
I like, and I don't want to sound like that guy, but I do appreciate Adele like making longer songs and doing time where,
it's fun.
The opposite
he
is
hadn't really done
popular.
it before.
Yeah, these are long.
There's 12 songs, and this is an hour-long album. So like the average is like 4 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
long
incredible.
songs, full songs. Yeah, so I have no problem with that. But yeah.
So you guys, of the pop stretch, though, are there any songs? We don't have to do track by track, but are there any songs of that stretch that really sort of stood out to you, or whether it's good or for good or bad reasons? Grant, you're grinning. So what's up?
So
he said, "I want to go in."
These, but like I was talking, it's like Easy on Me. It's probably one of my least favorite tracks because my least favorite one is Oh My God.
Really?
Like, yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Oh My God. And then my second least favorite is Can I Get It? So this is where the album starts.
So you don't like the poppy Adele song?
I don't mind poppy Adele. Like I like Rolling in the Deep and Rumor Has It and all that. But like this to me was just shy of being an Ed Sheeran song.
Oh,
to the point
that's
where like, and I
wow,
mean that
people love Ed Sheeran.
Not on my watch, Grant.
I don't mean that as an inherent criticism, because like you like, there's nothing wrong with liking Ed Sheeran.
Absolutely,
like, he's a pop artist. Like you're supposed to like him, but like this to me, like I think this to me sounded like it was engineered to appeal to as many people as possible.
I totally agree.
Rather than like, and I don't know, it just didn't really like sit well with me. It's just not a sound I really care for on a personal level.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. Like that stretch is like my least favorite stretch. I guess the best song out of like Cry Your Heart Out, Oh My God, Can I Get It? And I Drink Wine is I Drink Wine. That was like my favorite stretch from that.
I don't want to loop. I wouldn't want to loop I Drink Wine into that. I feel like it's really Cry Your Heart Out. Oh My God, Can I Get It?
Okay, like, fair. But okay, yeah, I was gonna say I got you. But between those 3, like that's like my least favorite run of the album. You know what I'm saying? Because like just coming from My Little Love, I was such a like emotional high and low, and like the way like how much I felt, and like just going to those, I was just like, I'm not in this mood at all. Like I want Adele to be emotional. I want to get back to the real. You know what I'm saying? The real sounding stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
I want to defend it a little bit because I enjoyed the pop stretch.
It's not bad.
And I sort of thought part of the reason I really love this album is because I keep on saying it, the variety throughout. And I sort of felt like coming right after My Little Love, it lifts you up and sort of takes you on the next act of this ride. Maybe that transition could be jarring, and I get Noah's point, but for me, I sort of welcomed it. Like it was a little stretch of brevity on this album that's otherwise very raw, very like vulnerable, very heavy. It's like a stretch of the fun songs. And my thing is, let's be real. If we know that in the music industry, they're going to say, Adele, you need a couple Rolling in the Deeps. Like we'll let you do your little 6-minute whatever, but we need a couple bangers. I'm not mad at about what landed. I enjoyed them. I can't lie. I think my least favorite is probably, no one said this, Can I Get It? Sorry.
Hey, that's my second least favorite. So
yeah,
that's probably like my least favorite.
I can defend Can I Get It then.
Okay, well no, I want to.
Here's my thing. Like there are certain like early 2010s pop trends that I think we should leave behind, and one of them is whistling a hook.
Whistling, I knew you were gonna.
And yeah, like because whenever I hear whistling, I think of Pumped Up Kicks.
Wow.
And that is a song that I did used to enjoy at one point, like freshman year of high school. I really liked Boss the People, but now I just tend to find it a little corny, just personally. Like, and I feel
a little
like
childish.
Childish,
like,
no Gambino.
Again, I don't mind Pop Adele. Like, I think 21 has some of her best pop songwriting. I love Chasing Pavements, but like to me, that's the pop that Adele is good at.
But see, Grant,
like,
can I challenge you on that? I
yes.
feel like Adele gave us that again. The pop piano ballad. We then would complain, this sounds too familiar. Because I know I would. If we got another Water Under the Bridge-ish, Rolling in the Deep-ish, I know my complaint would be like, God damn it, Adele. Like,
Set Fire to the Rain.
Like, you know, like, let me have some, I think I would have been more upset if like these three songs were replaced with like Rolling in the Deep-esque tracks where they're poppy and she's just blowing. Because, you know, I feel like she needed a little bit something fresh.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. But I you know,
Wait,
go ahead, Grant.
Oh no, I just saw. I didn't realize this. I was looking at the production credits and Max Martin's right there, and I'm like, that. There you go.
That explains it.
Like, yeah.
I was gonna bring that up.
Avery, how do you feel though?
If you're listening and don't know, Max Martin like writes pop songs for everyone. He gets passed around like.
It gets passed around.
Like Body Strange as an indie.
Oh,
yeah.
Exactly.
We'll use that tweet. Yeah, Avery, how do you feel? Because I feel like Avery was feeling these a little bit.
I like the song a lot.
It
is one of my held beliefs that all vocalists, all performers should have like a country song in the bag. They should.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's a lot of innovation to be had. I think there's a lot of fun to be had in a country song. You know, like Beyonce did a great job on like Daddy Lessons. Adele can have this song, and I was really happy and very welcome to hear that. Like, oh, she's got some like there's like a little country twang to this song. So I enjoyed it for that aspect.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like Daddy
Honestly,
Lessons,
I think that's fair.
That's a great song. To me, like I didn't really think of this as country until you mentioned it. Like,
yeah, me neither.
Is it like?
I didn't either. I get it.
I wouldn't like strictly say it's a country song, but I think it has
country
like
inspired.
She borrows elements from it, and I really enjoyed that.
For sure.
Now that you mention it, I can hear some of the KT Tunstall like 2006 like country inspired pop in that.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that before.
Y'all, we're not doing a track by track. I just wanted us to say Cry Your Heart Out's one of my favorites. You just skipped over that one. And I just want to say, of the pop songs, that's my favorite song.
Yes, that is my same. Of the pop songs, that is my favorite too.
I love I Drink Wine too.
Let's get to it.
I really love it.
Is this your favorite track, Nnamdi?
This, I don't know. I'm between this and one other, but this is definitely up there for me. You know, but like, yes, I love this song. It is the full-fledged, like Elton John-ish. So you need to know context. I went on like a big Elton John bender back in like May. I think I told Avery about this. I watched Rocket Man and I was like, oh, I'm in. So I like.
We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast. So like, I love I Drink Wine because she so clearly borrows from that sort of style of pop, but does it so well. And I know the title is sort of like silly, but it fits the song. And you know, I normally hate when artists don't say the name of the song in the song.
She says wine once. I was so confused. I was like, I was so confused too. I was like, where did she say wine?
From the storytelling element, I get it. It's like this is the song you record when you're sitting down with like that glass of wine, singing like, damn, how did I get here? Like, you know, like, you know, I appreciate this song, and I think it is easily one of the strongest on the album.
The lyrics are crazy on this song too. Like, she comes out the gate saying like, how do we both become a version of a person we don't like? I thought
you don't need a glass of wine after that one.
Personally, like
wild.
This run from like I Drink Wine to on down is like where she got the most like I guess real about her divorce, because obviously the clip, you know, she was like, what's this album about? She's like, divorce, honey, divorce, you know,
divorce,
divorce babe. This is the run where I feel like she's the one, she's getting like the realest and most I don't know, it's just a different kind of emotion, because obviously like I was going back to My Little Love, that's such like a downer, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's so emotional, sad about it. You know, she even talks about her husband on there, like, you know, I love, you know, your daddy gave you to me, so that's why I love him, you know. But this is like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this man. This man don't ruin my life. This man done took half my money. I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying? On I Drink Wine, on Women Like Me, she's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm
Those
done.
are like, because for being like a nominal divorce album, like there really aren't that many scathing songs.
Mhm.
This is one of them, and Woman Like Me is the other one.
Yeah, these are like the two
But,
like scorched earth songs.
Yeah. It's like Casey Musgrave's Breadwinner. Like
Exactly.
like those albums sound nothing alike, but like on Starcrossed, despite it being a divorced album, she really doesn't get that mean on it. Also, I just have to say, I admire Adele for naming the song I Drink Wine. She knew exactly what she was doing.
There's a demographic here.
This has to be the next single. I'm just sort of like, this has to be the next.
And you know, it's so funny. I was gonna say all the women who loved Oprah, you know, the Oprah show. And then she went on Oprah. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, Mom, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this song, Mom.
Yeah. I will say, and we'll talk about this on our other divorce songs too, but I will say one thing I appreciate about this divorce album, and I think you guys said this, there's a lot of reflection in it. And I don't think Adele's sort of given us that before from a thematic standpoint. A lot of it has been like, I will set fire to the rain because you effed me up. Like, I'm someone like you, never again. Like, you know, it's like, this was sort of like, I hope I can get over myself. Like, here are my flaws that I'm laying out bare for you guys.
Well, go ahead.
No, Grant has to leave in 10 minutes. So I'm just trying to move us through
you're fine.
this bad boy.
But
I
I did wonder, how do you guys feel about Love Is a Game? I know we've kind of been doing it, like we're not technically doing track by track, but like one thing I thought was interesting is she gets so many Amy Winehouse comparisons. And then she names a song Love Is a Game. I'm like, is that a nod to
I think it is.
Game?
I think it is. I would like her to come out and say that. That would be interesting if she mentioned that in an interview.
Love is a losing game, love is a game. But I do think like she's always been like followed by the Amy Winehouse comparison. So I think it's just a little Easter egg for like, if you know, you know type of thing, you know?
That's true. That's fair. That's
the
fair.
last song. So,
but I love this song. And I think it makes an amazing outro. Hold on, we skipped too many songs to this because we have the outro already. But I do think it's an amazing outro. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It ends on a really high note.
For sure. But these last like 5 All Night Park and Women Like Me, Hold On to Be. Yeah, that's like a really emotional high, like just in terms of how she's feeling those last 5 tracks, which I really do love. And you know, we already kind of mentioned Woman Like Me, but that is a song that I feel like she was really going at it, and that's
my second favorite song. I'll be wanting to take notes.
She was aggressive in like, you know, a way a singer can be aggressive, but she was like, this is just a straight up diss song. This is a straight up diss song. There's nothing else you can really say about it.
But she does the diss song in such a fantastic way. Like, it's not like just like, and the confidence thing I was mentioning, that's summed up in this song. I don't think you'd ever hear Adele like talking like this on a prior album. Like, I agree. Do you know who I am? You've never had a woman like me, bro. Like, get off your ass. What are you doing?
Exactly. Literally. So, you know, so I thought it was great. She called him lazy.
Yeah.
Called her husband lazy.
It's funny because like apparently they live like across the street from each other because they're like co-parenting.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like, she makes this song, and he's just like, does he listen to it? Like, does he hear it? And, like,
you know what it's giving me? It's giving me Drake playing the Big Bill diss above him in the hotel room. Times that thing. That's kind of vibe it's giving me.
Her ex-husband walking across the street and knocking on her door and be like, dude, come on. Like, really?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I also think this may be my favorite hook on the album.
This is a good hook.
I remember I texted one of you guys like, this gives me Sade Adu, like 90s, like R&B, like late 80s, 90s R&B, just like,
you know,
vibe.
I was getting Sade's a good one, but I was getting a bunch of Erykah Badu vibes on something like this and like some other songs. But Erykah Badu for sure. I was like,
Noah, to your point about like growth, I now want Adele to give me an album of this, like their Motown
all the way
R&B sort
of
like,
go all the way there.
The dramatic strings and
go all the way there. Do it.
Because
do it.
I think the last 3 songs, Hold On Me, To Be Loved, Love Is a Game, those are all sort of the Adele we know, just showing a mastery of her form. That's how
especially Love Is a Game. I like the parts on Love Is a Game where it's like, I'm trying to think if you can click on the actual track. There's like, you know, she'll sing a song and then like there'll be like a little high pitched voice in the background, like I like that. I don't know. I thought that was really interesting.
I know it was creative.
I know the backing vocals.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. Is that her or is that like somebody else?
I think it's back. I think it's
I thought it was like, a computer maybe.
I think it's different vocalists, like their background vocalists.
Just background vocalists? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought it was.
She sort of experiments with that on Cry Your Heart Out too. I really
exactly.
It.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because her voice is so heavy, so having like a little lighter, like fluttery thing in the back, I like that.
Exactly, but the song's still heavy, you know. But
what did you guys think of Hold On really quick? Avery, do you have any thoughts of that one? I feel like
Hold On.
No, I mean, I don't have much to add. You guys are kind of killing it. I agree with everything.
Killing it.
Look, I don't know what more I can say. I agree with everything.
I mean, Hold On, To Be Loved, and Love Is a Game. It's like they kind of all, they don't blend together. It's just they're all like long, heavy songs. Like these songs are each above 6 minutes, and it's like alone those 3 tracks are 18 minutes. Like that's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like those are long tracks that are really emotional and going back to back to back. So I'm not saying like I don't think it should have went somewhere else. It's just like those are really heavy songs to go back to, and it felt like really long to get through, personally. But they're still good. It's just it's a listening experience. I don't know how I feel about those 6 minute tracks back to back to back.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like you kind of have to listen to all 3 of them together if you're gonna like. I couldn't just pick out one.
Yeah,
for sure. I agree.
Except for Crying, you know.
Yeah, those last 3 songs. That's an EP.
That's what I'm saying,
18
dude. Like
minutes of music.
Exactly. So, you know, for Perps, you know, for Melissa, I would have wished a little like, you know, something to break it up a little bit, you know, a little blip, but it's all good.
I will say, I mentioned earlier there was a song that gave me James Blake vibes. It was this one. It was the intro with this one. Gave me strong.
Really?
James. The not the song, that little intro at the beginning.
Yeah.
If you listen to it, gave me very strong James Blake.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're both talented songwriters. That
I don't say it as a critique. I enjoyed it.
No, absolutely. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying like it's just, you know, I'm not surprised that they have similar things coming out on their music. Because they're both talented songwriters and singers also, so vocalists. So yeah.
I think at this point we've kind of touched on just about every single song. So we always do track by track, so we don't need to. So now let's go ahead and get to our score, our final thoughts and scores. We're gonna try to clip this. Everyone, you know, keep it not cute and short. And Grant, we'll go ahead and start with you, so you can go ahead and hop off once you're done.
Oh well, thank you. It's like I'm getting out of here. No, but this has been fun. So, is this Adele's best album? I'm not sure yet because it's still pretty new, but I could see it becoming my favorite one. Like, because I feel like this is the one where she's really like gotten a really firm grasp of what she's best at, what she excels at, and how she can grow from there. Like, this feels like, again, Adele in her final form of her realizing everything that she can do. So maybe down the road this will become my favorite. But still, like I said earlier, like if you're a fan of this particular sound, this is for you. Like, you are pretty much guaranteed to like it. This is not my go-to sound, but I can still recognize that, like, wow, like Adele is very talented. Like, there's no question about that for me. And so I guess with that in mind, maybe this will be like a 7.5 for me. I know that might be on the lower end. I don't know. We'll see.
Anthony Fantano gave it a 7, so you're right with, and I think Pitchfork did too.
No, they gave it an 8.2. They gave it an 8.2.
Now you're meaner than Pitchfork. That's something.
That's saying something. I mean, I could go next because I'm kind of like on the similar playing field as Grant. Like, I mean, Adele's an incredible vocalist, incredible artist. I don't think this is my favorite, but it has some of my favorite songs. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite Adele songs, because she's like again, My Little Love is just so emotional. Like, I've never seen her like pour her heart out like that much. Like in the past, it's been like more general about relationships. You know, got a guy that like she was really specific about her relationship with her husband and her son on My Little Love, which I thought was great. But yeah, I mean, great album. You know, a couple songs I won't go back to, like that middle part of those poppy songs. I just won't go back to that much, but still good album. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Also, Grant, I'm with you.
On some bullshit.
I was worried I was gonna be controversial.
Yo, 7.5 isn't bad.
No, whatever. Avery, go ahead. Give us your final thoughts.
A good score.
I feel like that's a good score. You doing a Taylor Swift fangirl thing, bro?
Man, can you let my boy Avery talk? Come on, Avery, hit him with it.
Like Grant said, it's still very new, but I think I'm inclined to say this probably end up being my favorite Adele album. I like all my favorite songs are kind of the when she gets like a little, she kind of veers out of her lane, like Strangers by Nature or I Drink Wine. I love All Night Parking. We didn't talk about that one a ton. And Can I Get It? But Yeah, I can see myself going back to this album a lot, and I really, I think it's Adele at her peak so far. I think like she can go. I think she can probably go higher than this, but
I agree.
I think my final score will probably be 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
So, friends, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. I think this is a great album. I have little notes because I feel like everything. If I had a rubric, everything that I like would grade on, she did well in. Like if I grade on storytelling, she gave me a cohesive story throughout, complete with narration. If I grade on stylistic variety, she gave me. It wasn't boring. There was sonic variety throughout. There was Motown songs. There was country twin songs. There was a ballad. It kept me on my feet throughout. If I'm trying to grade it for her vocal performance, she kills it. She's showing that she can still blow, giving you her signature Adele sound. If I'm trying to grade it for growth, this to me feels like a very natural progression from 25 to 30. She's grown in almost every single form that I could think of. So with that in mind, I just don't have that many notes. And I feel like I've long struggled to conceptualize what my 10 looks like. But I feel like it's going to be an album like this that I have little to no genuine bad things to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 10.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was going to be a 9.
Yeah, no. Let me say it was gonna be a 9.5, but I saw Noah's face and I was like, fuck it. I was like, excuse my language. So 97 Demo scores at 8.4, which is like I think this is the beauty of how we do this, because like, could my 10 be called too high from someone? Sure, but does the 8.4 feel like that's great? Yes, so there we go.
Yeah,
it's a good album. I mean, I think everybody just has like a dip, because like from what I've heard, like I feel like everybody has a different like. This album is good, but for me, by far, my favorite is still like 19, and 21 is the second for me personally. But this is still a great album. So it's just like everybody.
Like, if I were to give you notes, what note would I give you? And I can't think of one.
It's fair.
I don't know. Make the back half a little shorter.
That's a fair point.
Maybe we should make a 97 Demo rubric. So
maybe we should. I mean, I feel you. Like if every song is good and she's doing something different, which is like things that Nnamdi really cares about. He wants to see growth. That's the thing he grades by. And Adele, every song's good to him, and there's growth on here. Don't blame him.
10 out of 10.
I know.
I never thought I'd see the.
So wait a second. You love every song on here, so you think every song is like
Noah? I've gone back to this album nonstop since this dropped. I listened to the whole thing in order, all 58 minutes. Even if I'm in a good mood, I'll throw it on.
I'm gonna go back and listen to see if.
For every song that I may want to skip, I'll listen to like another song 10 times, so it makes up for it. Let's say
look at that.
Well, no, let's say I may not want to listen to All Night Parking today. Well, guess what? I'm listening to I Drink Wine 16 times. So it's fair. There's too many. I just don't have notes. I just don't have.
Hey man, I feel you. Adele's great. All time great, honestly.
So Grant, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Journalist. Thanks for we need Grant to hone us in, because look, if it was just me, this would have a 10, and people would be tweeting us crazy. So like,
I don't think people would be mad about that, bro. No, I don't think people would be mad. Nah.
But Grant, we'll have to figure out. I always try to brainstorm ways to get you on the podcast. I'm sure I'll think of something.
Hey, I love coming on here. I always have a great time. So
I love that, Grant. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there you have it. 8.4 for our Adele 30 review. Take that how you will. Some of us may say that's too low, but it's whatever. It's cool. 8.4.
It's perfectly
whatever.
That's literally a good score.
No, it's fine. No, it's cool. Yeah, no,
great.
It's fine.
It's better than Pitchfork score.
You hear about the doc? Now they over here about the doc over here.
But it's
about the docs. Yeah, he got the.
I just find it funny that let me stop. Look, hey, so you guys, we normally do new releases, but there just wasn't that many big things because of the holidays. So we decided to just talk more about the Grammys. So we're gonna give our predictions for the big four, which I kind of enjoy doing, and I did this in my newsletter. So I'm just gonna kind of go with what I wrote there. But what do y'all want to start? What's the first one? Record of the year?
Yes. So it's I Still Have Faith in You, ABBA, Freedom, John Batiste, I Get a Kick Out of You, Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga, Peaches by Justin Bieber, Right on Time by Brandy Carlisle, Kiss Me More by Doja Cat and SZA, Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, Montero by Lil Nas X, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, and Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. This is entirely way too many nominations.
You felt that 10 nominees, didn't you?
Yeah,
this is too many. Too many.
So, you guys remember, Record of the Year isn't songwriting, it's the song itself. So with that in mind, what do you think?
Leave the door open. I'm sorry.
I'm between Montero and Leave the Door Open.
Leave the door open. For me.
And I love Driver's License too. But
I can see Driver's License getting Song of the Year. But I feel like for Record of the Year, it should be like I mean, yeah, for record, I feel like Leave the Door. It's giving me, you know, when Childish Gambino won for Redbone. It's giving me like they Leave the Door Open was like almost that level of like popular. So I feel like it could get for that.
Yeah, I kind of see Driver's License. I'm not going front with you.
All right, I'm gonna say Montero then, just so we can have some.
Okay, so Leave the Door Open for me. Nnamdi says Driver's License, and Avery says Montero. Okay, cool.
All right, so now we have album of the year. We have We Are, John Batiste, Love for Sale, Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga, Justice, Justin Bieber, Planet Her, Doja Cat, Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, Back in My Mind by Her, Montero, Lil Nas X, Sour, Olivia Rodrigo, Evermore, Taylor Swift, Donda, Kanye West. I think We Are by John Batiste is gonna come as the dark horse candidate and win album of the year.
I just don't see it. I don't know, but I feel like after last year, they might be like, yo, we got to give it to this guy. And I'm not saying he won't be deserved, but I just like, we got to give it to him. But I'm gonna go with Olivia Rodrigo, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going with Olivia Rodrigo, dude. I'm sorry.
Sour was this. If Sour wins album of the year,
you know what? No, you know why? You know why? If it's giving me when Billie Eilish first broke out, she swept the top
I know.
four, remember?
But you know who else is?
Don't do
you know
that
who else
to
is?
Billie.
You know who else is?
Okay,
in this
Olivia
category?
Rodriguez is huge. It's not a crazy. She's
But
huge.
that Billie, When We All Far Where We Go was better in my opinion.
Okay, that's fine, but people to you, but I'm saying people love Olivia Rodrigo. It's not surprising.
But you know who else is in this category?
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. So
I could see her winning too.
I could go with either one of them.
I want Billie Eilish to win. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I just think I could really see. If you listen to We Are, that is a Grammy album. Like that's a Grammy core album, and I could really see them giving it to the Grammy, which they've done. They've
for sure.
Casey Musgraves is considered the dark candidate her year. Like it's like
dark horse, yeah,
the dark horse candidate. So
yeah,
I could see it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
but I think Olivia Rodrigo.
We have
I'm gonna say Sour
and We Are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
If Nnamdi, if you get that, Nnamdi, that tweet's gonna be fire. That tweet gonna be. I told y'all.
So,
song of the year.
We have Bad Habits, Ed Sheeran. Oh wow. A Beautiful Noise, Alicia Keys and Brandy Carlisle. Driver's License, Olivia Rodrigo. Fight for You by Her. Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. Kiss Me More by Doja Cat and SZA. Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. Montero, Lil Nas X, Peaches, Justin Bieber. Right on Time from Brandy Carlisle. What's so sad is if I liked Justin Bieber, Peaches could really win record of the year. Not song, but record. But don't like him. So I actually put Happier Than Ever for my guess here.
I think Driver's License is gonna get this one because of the overall.
I'm gonna say Kiss Me More then.
Ooh. You know, Avery, I'm thinking I may actually want to switch my song of the year and record of the year. I could see Happier Than Ever winning record of the year and Driver's License winning song of the year.
That's what I think.
Songwriting on Driver's License may be more like.
And remember, everybody talks about the bridge on there, like, oh my gosh, the bridge was incredible. Like I
agree.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
I think Driver's License is dang near a lock for me. I really think it's gonna get it. So I feel you, Billie Eilish is here, but I'm saying Olivia Rodrigo's the new girl. I feel like it could give me like she can win 2 or 3 of these top 4. Like I really
see her winning Best New Artist and one of these. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the final one? Oh, Best New Artist. This one's easy.
Best New Artist.
Aruj up top. Wait, what?
Go.
You go. No, you go.
Oh no, I forgot we have to name out everyone. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh. Aruj up top, Jimmy Allen, Baby Keem, Phineas, Glass Animals, Japanese Breakfast. Shout out to Avery, The Kid Laroi, Arlo Parks, Olivia Rodrigo, Saweetie. I'm so shocked Saweetie is in this category.
I'm shocked too. When's the last time she released this album?
I was just about it. Like I didn't.
Did you guys watch her SNL performance?
No. How was it?
Sorry. Not good.
Yeah,
not good. Just say it's okay. Just say it wasn't good.
She looked great doing it, you know?
Wow. Honestly, you know what's so crazy? That's worse than saying that's not good. If you say, wow, she looked good though.
She tried her best,
you have a problem, young man, okay? You need to do better. Okay?
She tried her best, and that's what matters.
See, Olivia Rodrigo's the obvious, but I would love them to give it to like Baby Keem, Phineas, Japanese Breakfast.
Ain't no way Baby Keem get this.
Okay,
let's say Phineas, Japanese Breakfast.
Phineas crazy. Phineas like won 6 Grammys. Not for
that's why I really wonder when you're an artist,
really
you can't be recognized as a producer.
That's interesting. I don't know, but I think Olivia Rodrigo. I think she's gonna get it. It's like she's too like. There's gonna be too much hate if she don't get it, but Grammy don't really care. So like, but
I'm gonna just say Japanese Breakfast because I really, really, really want Japanese Breakfast to win.
And I'm gonna say Phineas because the Academy loves the Eilish clan.
They do.
For sure. So yeah,
and because like there's just been too many examples of the biggest artists getting snubbed. Like Katy Perry lost, Justin Bieber lost, Nicki Minaj lost. Like there's a lot of precedent of like the big artists losing.
So does that mean Olivia Rodrigo should be the favorite, right? You feel like she'd be the favorite? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I think she's the favorite. I'm just not sure that she's a guarantee. This category is one where oftentimes the favorite doesn't get it.
Gotcha.
But who knows? Like you said, Billie Eilish swept it 2 years ago. Who won last year? Dua Lipa, I think.
It might have been. Yeah, it was.
If you want more of our Grammy takeaways, I wrote about it in our newsletter. I just did 10 takeaways. We kind of touched on some of them here. And the only one that I really want to bring up is that I'm shocked that Justice is getting all the fame it's getting, considering the fact that I just hate the concept. And I think the concept should be enough to sort of disqualify it.
It's stupid.
I more than I hate the concept, I hate that like no one else is like seeing this. Like it feels like I'm alone. This feels so just cheap and like exploitative. Y'all, like after summer of 2020, all of them protests, all of them calls for Black Lives Matter and reform. The word justice, you have to understand, is so charged. You know, and you have this coming out a month before the George Floyd trial, right after Breonna Taylor didn't get her justice. Like this was a very charged time. And to roll out this album with tweets saying things are just so crazy, the world is full of injustice, this is gonna offer us a way to heal. Taking an MLK sample, throwing it in two places, then making a love album that doesn't talk anything about social justice, show any offering about like anything about Black lives or marginalized communities, doesn't do any of that. It's just a love album that should have just called it off a movement.
Should have just called it Haley and took out the MLK quotes.
Yes, and I would have called it one of the best pop albums.
We would like, oh, great album.
Period.
Great.
And no matter how much I try, no matter what Bernice King co-signing this and saying it's cool, no matter how much money he donates to racial organizations, I can't get over this because I just think the concept in itself of a white man doing this is the most disingenuous thing I've seen in music in like years. So that's how I feel about that.
Off My Face is a fire song still though. I can't.
Know. And y'all know I used to bump Peaches, but I just can't. You know,
I'm kind of soured on Peaches. I'm not a big fan of that song anymore.
It got overplayed.
It's so overplayed.
Okay.
All these songs are literally overplayed.
Y'all, Billboard. This is a long episode. So Billboard highlights. All I'm gonna say is All Too Well topped the charts from Taylor Swift. It's insane because y'all, it's a 10-minute song.
It's 10 minutes
now. The longest song to be at top of the chart. It's also sort of insane because this song came out 10 years ago. And I just sort of remain baffled at Taylor's ability to do this. On the Billboard 200, Red Taylor's version is also at the top of the chart. I believe it sold just under 500K first. Wait. No, it sold 604K, I believe, first week. It was right under Drake, who's at 613, which is insane. Because again, you guys, if you didn't hear me before, it's a re-release. And since Taylor Swift has done this re-record thing, people like Ashanti are doing it now. Like, if it encourages more artists to try to do this to get control of their music, I'm all for it. I am still baffled that it's working this well for Taylor Swift.
It won't work this well for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I respect.
Well, there's so much nostalgia attached to it. Like when 1989, whenever she does 1989, like I'm gonna be fangirling over that.
Yeah,
so,
I could see that too.
So I mean, there's so much nostalgia attached with her albums.
And Adele's gonna go #1 next week. For sure.
That's the thing. Adele's about it. I kind of joke that she's expected to set a record and flop at the same time. She's setting a record because she's selling expected to sell around 830,000 first week in the US alone, which, you guys, that is amazing. It's the highest sales this year. It's blown everyone, including Drake, Taylor Swift, out the water. Easily probably going to end the year as the best selling album. But some people, specifically little Swifties on Twitter, still consider this a flop because her last album, 25, sold 3.3 million in its first week. So you went from 3.3 million to 800,000, which isn't the greatest decline, but I will say you have to remember this comes after Billboard changed their whole bundling rule. And we've seen since that change has happened, literally every artist has gotten their sales cut. Even Taylor Swift, who is known for selling more than a million per week, hasn't done that since that rule change.
Yeah, and 3.3, that was just US, right? That honestly is an insane drop. Yeah, that's insane. I want to check that, make sure if that's worldwide, because I feel like worldwide
it was US.
Okay, cool.
US.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is still a dramatic drop, but I mean, forget the hate, man.
That's why I was surprised. But my thing is, in my opinion, I just think it's more of that bundling rule than people not caring about the album. Because
that might be.
If she's selling get 3 albums and a shirt, and she's to get all 3 of those sales, like that helps.
Times 3, 800,000 times 3. How much? Gotcha, for sure.
Yeah, it sold over 3.3 million in the US alone. Great. That's still to date the biggest first week ever.
Sure.
So kind of a drop, yes, but still, again, Adele is setting the bar now
That
for this
girl.
this new rule streaming era change. Yeah, I'll give it to that. So now, project of the week, you guys. I chose "We Are" by John Batiste because I've become obsessed. I've started making a concerted effort to listen to all the Grammy albums, and I became obsessed with this one, and angry at myself for not listening to it earlier. It's a very short listen. Noah, you'd love it. It's like 33 minutes. Encourage
he's so talented, man. I'm excited to listen.
I hate that he's still more well known for like The Late Show. I'm like, have y'all heard this? Like,
he's a talented artist.
He was at the Macy's Day Parade on Thursday too.
Oh, word. Avery, you was out there?
I was at home in Texas.
Oh, he was at home.
I
forgot. Yeah, that's right. Mine was Intimidated EP by Keisha. 3 songs. Yeah, it's just really fire, dude. Like, I know we were talking about her a little bit, but she is incredible on Intimidated, the title track. She sounds amazing on there.
Pray for Haiti. Ooh.
Oh, that he said I want you to pray for Haiti, but take the R out. Ooh. So I was like, dang, well, that hit hard. Right. He killed it. Pray for Haiti. Oh, yeah, exactly. Now you thought about it.
Now you just got it.
I love it when they make me think. I love it when they
pray
make me
for Haiti,
think.
but take the R out. It's like, oh, word. I got you. Yeah, man. Matt Conley killed it. So yeah, Keisha, dude is talented, man. Dude is just so talented. He's like, I love Keisha. So yeah.
My project of the week is King's Disease 2. Just so good. I would not be sad if this won rap album of the year. Like,
he won last year. I feel like he won.
I've chosen this on project of the week. Welcome
but you know what? I think
brother.
this is better than
it's better. I think it's better.
Ooh, I don't know yet.
I love it. Like,
I think
Moments is my song, and then like,
oh
man, Nobody with Lauryn Hill, Brunch on Sundays. Hit Boy killed this album too.
Hit Boy's.
And that's why it was so impressive because it's hard to do he did a sequel a year later that like managed
with the same producer.
It was at least just as good.
That managed to not be redundant and sound like just as good, if not better, than the first.
Yeah. That's why I'm not mad about the rap category, because pretty much any of the albums except CLB, I could see winning.
I really
I was understanding because say what you want about Donda. We're not doing this. Sorry, we're just like episode.
No, I could see Donda winning, but I'm saying I just don't think CLB should win.
It doesn't match up with the other albums.
It really don't.
Ooh, that's Avery saying that.
Artistically,
y'all know which Donda rap song got nominated?
Jail. Off the Grid.
Yeah.
I think Jail's like just a bigger song production wise.
But Off the Grid is
the best song on the album. What are you talking about?
I wish Andre 3000.
I
wish the Andre 3000 track was on there way back when.
If they used that sequencing, Donda wouldn't have been nominated for album of the year.
True, I agree. That sequencing is terrible.
I have not gone back to that album since they did that. I hope Kanye hears me.
Wait, you haven't gone back to Donda since?
No, yo,
hold on. See,
I used to. No, you listen, Noah. I used to listen to like Donda, Jail, and like listen to that. I think then it's like Off the Grid. Like I used to listen to that stretch all the time.
Life of the Party
I don't do that at all anymore.
Life of the Party and Off the Grid are like weekly required listening for me.
Because Donda Chant into Hurricane just does not sound good. It's
wow, Nnamdi. So hold on.
I don't want it.
This is dropping down on your rankings of the year.
I said this. My score would have changed if the album came out with this.
It's okay. Wow. The other one still exists.
Yeah, the other one still exists, though.
Because why would he do that? Like, what did you gain? Okay, this is officially too long.
Yeah, for sure.
This might be 2 hours. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not 2 hours. It's not 2 hours.
An hour and a half, but it's okay.
But listen to the podcast. Subscribe to the newsletter. Check that out. Nnamdi had a great piece about the Grammy takeaways.
Nnamdi worked on a Thanksgiving week.
This man put in work.
Get you guys this newsletter. Noah and I were too lazy to do that, so we did that.
Grammy noms came out, and I had to talk to someone about it.
Nnamdi said I have to do it. Nnamdi said I can't.
I will talk to my computer.
Noah and I were too lazy to do it, and Nnamdi's like, you know what?
Absolutely.
Can I take off next week?
Do what you need.
We'll talk in the back. We'll talk in the back.
We'll talk in the back.
But friends, thank you all for listening to us this week. Like Noah said, subscribe to all our stuff, share all of our stuff, and we will see you.
Shout out to Grant.
Next week. Shout out to Grant, yes.